Welcome to a new fragrance review. Today I'm gonna review the whole brand of Just Jack. So, Just Jack was quite a discovery and quite a ride for me. I'm really happy that I discovered them. At first it was hard to find, and I was lucky to see that Fragrance Buy had those fragrances. I started with just 2 fragrances and I did reviews on it. I saw it was popular, decided to try them all, or most of them. I think there's 2 or 3 fragrances that I haven't tried, plus the woman one, but most of them I've covered them, I've tried them, and I can tell you if it's a good brand or not. And I would say that it's half and half. Some of it is good, some of it is bad. What I think about it, it's really, Tom Ford are expensive, especially if you go with the retail price. And Tom Ford, they have their market. It's all right. They sell to people that are in the market, and that's great like that. But there are another market that is not the market of Tom Ford, that is the market of fragrance collector or fragrance enthusiast. There are people that just want to discover fragrance, and buying a bunch of Tom Ford, it's expensive. And I think this is the market they want to get, because they are all clones of Tom Ford. So this is the market they want to get, the people that want to smell the fragrance of Tom Ford but that cannot afford them. And I think I cannot say they were successful, and I cannot say that they were not successful, because some fragrance of Just Jack are just amazing. They smell super good and really close to the real fragrance, and some smell like trash and are not even close to the real fragrance. A good example of one that smells like trash, and I'm not saying like it smells bad, I'm saying it smells like literal trash. It's Fenta Fab, which is a clone of Fucking Fabulous, and that fragrance is just nasty. It smells bad. I don't know why they're selling that thing. It smells bad. Still, they thought it smelled the same as the original one. Another one that's not quite good as a clone, it's Tobacco Leaf, the clone of Tobacco Vanille, which basically smells cinnamon. It smells like cinnamon candy. Cinnamon candy smells nice, so it's a nice fragrance, but it doesn't have anything to do with the real fragrance. But then there's stuff like Orchid Noir that smells like Black Orchid, exactly the same. And I would say Black Orchid perform better, they last better, and all it does a better job, but still the smell is really similar for 1/10 of the price. And there's stuff like Pure Carbon that is a clone of Noir Endurance that actually projects better and lasts longer than its actual fragrance that it's trying to copy, and it smells exactly the same, if not a little bit better, because it smells more. There are good fragrance, there are bad fragrance, there are good that look alike or not. A good example, it's Ombre Suede. Ombre Suede is not quite the same as, it's not the same at all. It's a bad clone of Ombre Leather. Ombre Leather is a spicy fragrance with leather undertone. Some people would say it's extremely leathery, but I think it's more spicy than leathery. But anyway, Ombre Suede smells like leather with a strong undertone of jasmine, which is not at all what Ombre Leather is. It's spicy leather, jasmine leather, not the same, but still smells great. I love it. I wear it from time to time now. It's kind of getting fragrance, and I'm putting it in front of each other, and it's getting in the end of the pile, but still it's a nice fragrance. It smells good. It's nice to wear it. I would say basically the brand is a good brand. They make nice product. They make product that are, you know, a ripoff of Tom Ford, but a good ripoff of Tom Ford. Most of the fragrances are nice. Some are really nice. I would say the only two fragrances that are not nice for me, it's Tobacco Leaf, which is not bad. It's just a bad clone. It's not something that I would necessarily recommend unless you love cinnamon. Then it's something you should try. And Fanta Fab, that is just plain nasty, that you should avoid at all costs. Everything else is nice. It's a nice brand. It's what they make smells good, smells close enough to Tom Ford, and the price is just not the same. You know, Tom Ford are expensive. They're 10 times the price of Just Jack. So you're better off with Just Jack. And with some exception, but I would say you're better off with Just Jack. The only thing with Tom Ford is the prestige of Tom Ford. You know, as a fragrance reviewer, and for you with someone in the fragrance community, the only talk there is, it's about the fragrance, but that's not all that there is. Tom Ford, really specifically Tom Ford, but most designer fragrance, they are not in the business of fragrance, they are in the luxury business. And their business is not for you to smell the perfume, like the perfume, buy the perfume. Their business is to have you like their brand and buy their brand. And it's not just about perfume, it's about everything. And Tom Ford, its target client, it's wealthy people. If you look at Tom Ford suit, I haven't went to look on the website for specifically a suit, but I think it's like $15,000, and it's more expensive than my car. And it's been a while, it's been 4 years I got my car, so I'm not quite sure of the price, but you know, I would say that at this point of the day, a Tom Ford suit is more expensive than my car. And if you think the suit is $15,000, if you look at other clothes, like a shirt that will be maybe like $500, $1,000, probably $1,000 for a shirt, you know, they're a crazy price. When you look at Tom Ford fragrance, $500 for a fragrance, it's super cheap. When you compare it to the clothes line and all, $500, it's super cheap for someone that buy the clothes and the suit from them. And this is their market. And people, they don't realize that. They think that the fragrance is the whole world. The fragrance should cost like that amount of money because of that quality. But it's not the market that those brands are. They are in the market of making money of their name. And this is why fragrances are expensive. This is why specifically Tom Ford are expensive, because Tom Ford name is expensive. When you buy a Tom Ford, you're buying the name. When you're buying a Just Jack, you're buying a ripoff of Tom Ford. So you're buying a Tom Ford without the name mostly. And most fragrances of Just Jack are good. Mostly, that's what makes it cheaper. It's not the quality, even though the quality also is there, because the price they're selling them is pretty cheap. The bottles are pretty cheap too. But mostly, it's the name that you're not paying for, and that's why they're cheaper. So, hope you enjoyed this video. If it's the case, we'll like and share. If you tried any Just Jack and you want to say anything about it, just write it in the comment. I'd be really happy to hear from you. So, thanks for watching. See you soon.